Chapter 7: The Second Quirk. Breaking news. A new development has occurred in the fire that killed a woman. Her child's hand has been found burnt to a crisp. The police have identified the child as Izuku Midoriya and the woman as Inko Midoriya. The child's full body has not been recovered, presumed burnt too far to ever be found. It is confirmed that both are presumed dead. The villain that was caught has been identified as Kaido Inazuma, an infamous villain wanted for many crimes. He has confessed to the crimes and has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. It is believed that the motive was simply to have fun. Xylon laughed maniacally as he watched the news in a room. I'm presumed dead, which means the police won't suspect me as a villain. He went to a hot silver pan and pressed his fingertips onto it, burning them away. He let out a loud scream of pain and fell to the floor, clutching his hands. The doctor, a villain he had paid, began to heal them and left with the cash. Now all I need is a healing quirk, and I'm ready to start killing heroes again. 2 months later, finally, his hands were healed. He could now find a person with a healing quirk, kill them, and take it. He searched for one and found a young girl who had just started using her quirk to heal the sick. It would be unfortunate if she accidentally drowned. He put on a disguise and approached her mother, who was walking her to school. He smiled at them and said hi. They smiled back. Her mother was quite pretty. He wondered if he could get her to come home with him. He thought about it for a second and decided to make his move. He walked up to her and said, "Excuse me, miss, but I think you dropped this," and handed her a fake ticket to win a family vacation. The next week, he saw the mother driving to a beach on the coast of Japan and followed them. As he had bought their hotel room, he also had a key. He prepared there, putting on his disguise as he watched her swim with her daughter. He could see this from 300 meters away with his quirk. He called the mother and pretended to be her coworker. She went to her car, brought back her laptop, and began to work. The time was 8 p.m. The mother was too focused to realize that her daughter was missing. He kidnapped her and took her underneath the pier where no one could hear them. The tide was really bad today, barely any water reaching the front of the pier, but it could change any second. He performed his ritual to get the quirk and succeeded. Waking up, he could feel the power in him. He cut his hand and it slowly began to heal. Now it is my turn to use my quirk to kill heroes again. Chapter 8: The Time Skip. 2 years later, he had done it. He laughed. I'm strong. Now all I need is experience in fighting. I can fight All Might for an hour before I get killed, as I have low experience. After killing the number 10 hero a month ago, I realized I was too weak. I killed him in 5 minutes. I should be able to kill him in 1 minute now, he thought. The only way to get stronger was to kill stronger enemies. The news came on. Breaking news. A new hero has appeared, ranked number 6. This is my chance. He left his bunker and headed for him. He used his HR to sense where he was. Found you. He ran there, a blur to some and to most. He wasn't even there. He got to him. He saw him. Hello, number 6 hero. I'm here to kill you. Chapter 9: Xylon the Great. Xylon, with his heavily restrictive quirk, posed a challenge unlike any Crust had faced before. The villain's ability to manipulate the environment with his restrictions forced Crust to adapt his defensive tactics on the fly. Meanwhile, Xylon's healing quirk, though taxing on his stamina, allowed him to shrug off Crust's initial attacks with ease. As the battle intensified, Crust's experience and tactical prowess came into play. He analyzed Xylon's movements, looking for patterns, weaknesses, anything to gain an edge. However, Xylon's invisibility quirk made it difficult for Crust to anticipate his next move. The villain darted in and out of sight, landing precise strikes on Crust before disappearing once more into the shadows. Crust, undeterred by Xylon's elusive nature, fortified his defenses, creating barriers of hardened crust to shield himself from the villain's attacks. But Xylon, with his cunning and resourcefulness, exploited the smallest openings in Crust's defenses, striking where the hero least expected. Despite his best efforts, Crust found himself on the defensive, struggling to keep up with Xylon's relentless assault. With each blow he landed, Xylon's healing quirk regenerated his wounds, fueling his determination to defeat the hero. The battle of attrition wore on, both combatants pushing themselves to their limits in pursuit of victory. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the battlefield, the tide of the battle began to shift. Xylon, sensing an opportunity, unleashed a flurry of attacks, overwhelming Crust's defenses. Despite the hero's valiant efforts, he could not withstand Xylon's relentless onslaught. With a final, decisive blow, Xylon incapacitated Crust, leaving the hero defeated and the city vulnerable to his villainous machinations. As he stood victorious amidst the wreckage of their battle, Xylon reveled in his triumph, knowing that his reign of terror had only just begun. Later, All Might arrived at the scene of the crime. He was devastated. His friend and coworker was dead, and the person that did this was powerful and unknown to anyone. The only clue left was writing on the wall that the villain wrote using the blood of Crust. I am Xylon the Great.
Thanks for watching, you acoustic idiots. Bye.
Ho, ho, ho!